President's Chair Dan Lewis and Clarissa Pena. I feel right now that things seem to be turning around to the good. I am so proud to have been a part of it, and I welcome our new councilman, Mr. Davis. I just wanted to include something that I had thought I had seen a minute ago, a while back, that I believe a person by the name of, either, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Dumas, has taken over the overhead views as a private entity. And I had seen some of the things that seem to have been not put on as inaudible, but when you were here, I heard it clear. But I just checked and saw that it was clear and good. Everything is working fine. I am just ecstatic that the one thing that has happened is the integrity of the change of the integrity of the people that are coming, that you are getting standing room here, that people are coming forward to say what they need to say with respect to you and respect to us. Thank you very much, and I'm praying that it stays this way. I appreciate it. God bless. Bye-bye.
Kyle, so after, as well as Alan Cooper, Kyle LeClaire, and then Mike, I can't pronounce that, you know who you are, but if you could make your way, if you're next, you can make your way and you can sit down in the front row right here and be ready to speak after the speaker in front of you is finished. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. There's another cold front coming again. So tonight I want to ask you, could you please check in your closets, see whether you've got any warm jackets. We need some sleeping bags, gloves, good socks, and so on. We're going out every night this week to people who have to sleep on the street. And we've already collected quite a bit of stuff, and we'll be distributing that. But who knows, you might have some stuff in your closets as well. And if you want to come out with us when we distribute these items, so that you can also just see what the conditions are, please contact Dinah, Steve, or me, and then we can make arrangements. Thank you very much.
First of all, hold on, so, Councilor Gibson first, and then Councilor Benton.
Hello, thank you for coming down to talk. Who is we? What is your organization?
It's the same three people who keep on speaking about homeless issues.
So not necessarily a
No, we're just
non-profit.
People, no,
Okay.
no.
So where would you like to accept these?
Sorry?
Where would you like to accept these donations?
You can contact me. You've got my number, I think, still. I can pick up stuff. Otherwise, you can make arrangements for us to pick it up at the Peace and Justice Center. We're happy to go anywhere and pick up stuff so that you can distribute, because the need is really great.
Okay. So the folks who you are encountering, are they aware of the West Side Emergency Shelter? And do they know that if they go to Central, that Central's
The people are very aware of it,
okay.
to the extent that they've had personal experience with the shelter. And as we've explained before, the shelters aren't the main, or the final resolution.
Right.
So people who are on the street, either for whatever reason they're not accepted into the various shelters, or they just feel they don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or this morning.
Yeah, I understand there are a number of reasons that
But they're aware.
do not use the West Side Shelter, but just wanted to make sure that they do know that there is
Yes.
that option and where to go to get it.
We also normally carry the Foursquare resource cards with us and hand that out to new people who are on the street.
Okay, thanks.
Councilor Benton.
Ms. Beal, thanks for coming down and speaking. And So you said the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice would be a place where people could drop these off. Is there, people watching on TV that might also want to bring to?
It would be best because the P&J has obviously not got that much storage space. I also work with the P&J and manage the closet there for people who just walk by and need some stuff. But it would be best for people who are listening to phone the P&J, and I don't know the number by heart, and then just ask to leave a message for Ilse, and all the front desk people know me, and they know to give out my number, etc., and then we can make arrangements.
Okay, thank you. So that's the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice. I don't have the number handy in front of me
I'm sorry.
myself, but people who can get a hold of you that way. Thank you.
Okay.
Councilor Pena, the number of councilors that would like to visit.
This is the first time this has happened. I should have asked you guys for stuff before.
Thank you for being here. I know probably this kind of goes for Dinah, but is there anywhere where people are congregating this year? Because last year, I know, where they were in the tent areas and stuff, so I was able to go over there and take some stuff. But so me and my husband were kind of looking and wondering, and I guess there's not really, it's kind of dispersed this year.
No, there are many encampments actually, and many groupings, but also we've unfortunately heard that people have been intimidated and harassed, so people are also trying to be more in hiding, which is actually pretty sad that they've got to be on the street during winter and then still have to hide. But there are many groupings, and we're in contact with many of them.
Okay, so I'll get in touch with you guys, because this way maybe we can set up some areas where people can take some of these things. Because I know we have organizations that do this, but some of these folks that are out there really don't want to access those services.
Exactly.
They no questions asked, and they just really want, sleeping bag units for the night or whatever. I think maybe we can set some locations up.
I forgot one thing. We really need backpacks as well, please. I forgot to say that.
202 Harvard,
We have the
Southwest.
phone number here, Councilor.
Yes, so the Peace Center is at the corner of
202 Harvard.
202
Harvard
Harvard.
and Silver. And the phone number over there is 268-9557.
That's right.
And so, as was stated, you could ask to leave a message for Ingrid if you have some.
Thanks for looking that up. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to Alan Cooper, and then Kyle LeClaire, and then Mike Swick.
Good evening, councilors. Just to trail around to what you were asking about, the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice feeds homeless people officially twice a week, on Thursdays and on Saturday mornings. And we provide a lot of resources. We send people to places where they can get different kinds of help, medical help and other kinds of help. Just want you to know that. My question at this point is, I'd like to hear from CAO Perry about the audit with quote unquote. We haven't seen anything in quite a while. In fact, not at all. And I'm through. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Kyle LeClaire, Mike Swick, and then Dinah Vargas. Swick, and then Dinah Vargas, and then Israel Chavez.
I have an audio-visual situation here, if I can maybe get some guidance here. Sound? Is there sound?
Can't see anything. Computer on?
Well, it's not showing. Should be showing. Okay, I'm gonna restart it. Okay. I think this video is self-explanatory. The screen on the right is what comes over GovTV. The screen on the left was shot personally by me from that vantage point. As you can see, the two screens are in sync. What's seen on the right is GovTV. What's seen on the left is what's being shown inside the building. So obviously there's a discrepancy as to what's going out over GovTV and what's shown inside. These were shot precisely at the same time. So, my question is the council aware of that, number one? Number two, is this a violation of the Open Meetings Act so that what happens in this room is not broadcast out? And I'm just wondering if anybody is aware of that.
Thanks for making us aware.
I have one more short video. I used to track it. This basically shows
Mr. Swing, how long is this? You want to
this
show
is
the video?
40 seconds. It's 40 seconds.
40 seconds?
Yeah.
If you can do it next time, I'm gonna have, you're welcome to come back next time and show the rest of it.
This is just Councilor Davis asking Mr. Perry.
I mean, you're welcome to, I mean, you could send that to the, Ms. Vargas, you can't show us that, there was only 2 people allowed there at the same time. So, so you're welcome to send that to us, I mean, we could view it, you can view this individually.
Screens are different.
And if you want to come back next time, you can show the rest of that.
I've done it, thank you.
So, thank you, Ms. Vargas.
I just wanted to make sure that you were aware.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. No, I think we did it.
All right,
Thanks.
I'm thinking 20 seconds. Should I go or wait for the time to start? I always get confused when you get up here. Okay. Hi, my name is Dinah Vargas, and I'm just like a person who lives here in the city, right? And so about a month ago, I was in Denver, and I'm pretty good like directionally and like finding my way around places. Like I just am like naturally. And so I was like zooming through the city, blah, 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 and then I saw the news that the Martinez guy from APS was gonna be in court, right? You know what I'm talking about? Jason Martinez, right? And so there's nobody there, right? Like to say no. So and then the news in Denver made us look all stupid, right? Because they kept mentioning Albuquerque. And so I got a little hot, right? So I said, well, I'm just gonna go to court tomorrow. And I almost say no. right? So anyways, I ended up showing up over there and I said a lot of things, but basically got the point. Told me never to return to New Mexico, and that's how it is. That's how I felt. Don't ever return to New Mexico, man. You ain't shit. That's what I said. That's how I felt. Because I'm angry, you know? And the only ones responsible for this have their asses stapled to a goddamn desk. For real, that's how I feel. Yep. And so anyways, back to the directional thing, I was able to, maneuver real smooth, and I was like, man, I could probably move here and just fall in. And I said, I can't even believe I said that. I could just fall in and like leave Albuquerque, you know? It's not that I can't, I just, I guess I can. Like, this is my home. I come from a long line of family members who were here before this was New Mexico territory. And everything, I mean, pizza and Coke 6 hours later. Like, everyone knows what that means. I don't even have to, like, say, what her name, right? That y'all won't vote and no confidence on her or the mayor. But thank you.
Well, thanks.
Question for Dinah, and that was in regards to your trip to Denver. We talked briefly about what they are doing in Denver for the homeless population. Can you give us just a real quick brief analysis of what's going on?
Well, there's a few things going on. One is the Homeless Bill of Rights, which they're one of the third southwestern state to be progressively trying to address the problems. Although they do have issues, they've been in the news, obviously. The cops had destroyed their migrant housing community, but they are trying to move forward in such a way where it's humane. And there's not, worthless laws like the panhandling law that's going to burden the city even more. And then they include members of their unsheltered in these changes. Because otherwise, I mean, how can we cure homelessness or even address it if we ourselves have never been homeless? Like, we don't know the first thing about it. So they do a lot of inclusive meetings and outreach as people. And to include the Homeless Bill of Rights, which has a right to rest component.
I just want to thank you for your advocacy and the work that you've done for the homeless here in Albuquerque.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. No, this is, okay, just a comment in general, because I do spend some time in Denver, just got back a few days ago, and I don't think Denver is any more a handle on their homeless population, certainly, than Albuquerque does. In fact, in the past month, their city council voted to outlaw urban camping. So, whether you have a tent or a sleeping bag or anything else, you could be written up on it. So, and I'm sorry to say, it doesn't make me feel any better to say that they're no better off than we are. They certainly have a larger homeless population than we do, but they are just as stumped and perplexed and working on the same angles that we are. Thank you.
Councilman.
Well, I was just going to ask Dinah if she's met with George Montoya from the bike program and how that's going, because I know we're trying to get some mode of transportation for some of the folks who are homeless.
Yeah, we've met on several occasions, and we have submitted, I think, like a final, or is it a rough draft still, of how the program would look. And so part of the bike program was to actually afford biking to the unsheltered, but we know when you're in desperate situations, I mean, you'll sell a bike for $10. Like, I have like 3 bikes in my truck now that I bought for like $10 from the streets, and so we know where they come from. So we sort of revamped it. He brought in some other people you have worked with, and I'm sorry, I can't think of their names right off the top of my head, but to make it more of like a supply, right, so that people can get the materials they need for their bikes versus just giving them bikes, because we know they can just.
So you can't.
Yeah.
There's only one person at the podium at a time.
Yeah. So, but you should have everything by Friday, so I could just wrap it up for President Lewis there. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
Trying to keep decorum.
Thank you, Diana.
Right on, thanks.
All right. This Alan Wagman and Laura Bell.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council. It's not Mr. President. Last week I was listening to the radio, fortunately a station with a website, and heard an interview, and the host of the program said, quote, Blue Rider is a former deputy chief of police with the LAPD and a police trainer and consultant. According to him, one of the biggest challenges is breaking the code of silence, unquote. They were talking about the situation in Chicago. Then Blue Rider said, quote, the real issue here is you have to have officers who feel comfortable that they will come forward with testimony that might get another officer into trouble. If they step forward, if they do the right thing, they will inevitably end up being retaliated out by other officers. And we have to say that retaliation is real. It's sinister. It normally hurts an officer so badly that he or she cannot stay with the agency anymore. I think there is a way that you could begin to break this. The mayor and all of the chief administrators have to stand up and say, we will protect you. And they need to go down and handpick the select group of officers who they know the field respects and have them come front and say, you know what, it's time for us to stop this code of silence. It's time for us to speak up and root these people who tarnish our star out of the agency. Unquote. Where is the mayor? Where is the CAO? Where is Chief Eaton? Where are the people who got hired for $300,000 a year saying it's time to stop the silence? Thank you.
Thanks, Laura Dale, and then Diane Goodman, our last speaker.
Yeah, everything's just separated by the post-its, so each section goes to a content. Do you know how I get this up here? Can somebody help me? Sorry, it's not easy to see. Anyway. Should I talk now? Yeah. The first thing you're looking at is a letter of support from the largest public access station in the country, showing how much quote-unquote means to the rest of the country, although it doesn't seem to mean anything to Albuquerque. Second thing is an interesting letter. Do not recall whether I just told you about it, whether I presented it last time, but it is a producer. She has since died of cancer, who details the unbelievable ordeal she had. She had one of the best public access programs, unquote unquote. The unbelievable ordeal she went through to try and get you public to put her show on. This is a nationally recognized show. Could not get them to do it. Third thing is the programming graph from you public. You've seen it before when I held it up. Everything in gray is contractual requirements. That last graph, original, whether it's first run local programming, you can see how tiny it is. That was back in 2014. Number 4 is the appropriations, the PEG fund appropriations for the public. This is the graph that I have up here. As you can see, this was based on IPRO documents I was able to grab showing monies that have been handed out to Rick Metz. As you can see, it's close to $500,000. And keep in mind, these appropriations were done without the understanding or approval of the council. And at that time, the contract they had was for the Ed channel, which has been black the entire time they've been doing stuff. So I really don't know what to say to you folks. The council minutes is the most important thing to me. I hope somebody will ask me a question about this, because this is your very council meeting minutes showing the cable board recommendation, Trudy Jones tabling it never coming back to a vote, and then the council introducing the second measure that came out of the blue that had nothing to do with the cable board. And I would like very much for somebody to answer to that. Is there anybody who can ask me a question about this? Because this is insane.
Your time's up. Thank you. Diane Gooden is our last speaker.
President Lewis and councilors, I just really had a chance to review the Ethics and Code of Conduct training module, which is online now. And I want to say, just from my superficial review, I'm totally elated. I'm looking forward to seeing the implementation of this. And actually, myself and Charles Arison have noticed changes in interactions previous to this. So I'm really excited, and thank you very much. Not just to the counselors, but to Rachel Miller, Lindsay, Jessica Hernandez and her team, with the legal team and everything. Just I want to say thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And I'll be watching the work study sessions because I'd like to see how they're looked at too. This is a question for the CAO and the administration regarding the CAO budget officers hearings. I would like to know if they would consider opening that up to the public. I understand that after the proposed budget is open to the public, but I would like to know if they would be willing to open it up prior to that so that citizens can participate in that at the beginning and see what's going on. So if somebody's going to want to address that. And then I just want to say, too, that the Charter Review Task Force, with their recommendations, with OC 16.6, there's a suggestion to explore the merits of a neutral public forum access to both the mayor and council, and in the spirit of an open and transparent government, citizens look forward to implementation in 2016. Although I will say that today's council meeting has been a really nice, welcoming interaction between citizens during public comment. So I just want to say that I'm seeing some change right now, and I look forward to 2016. So I think it's going to be a very good year. Thanks so much.
Thank you.